Hey guys, it's Milka. If I'm looking a little crusty right now, it's because I woke up not too long ago and I want to take a shower, but I just got this message because of something I experienced and I felt like it was something that must be shared. So I turned on the camera. Um, but I wanted to talk about flexibility, right? Flexibility is more than just something that your physical body is associated with. Our physical flexibility is not just face level physical flexibility, right? A lot of the time, our physical flexibility can intermingle with our emotional and mental and energetic flexibility as well. So people who are really stiff in their body tend to also not realize that they're kind of blocked up a little bit in other aspects of their life and their other bodies, if you will, as well, right? Like the mental body, the emotional, spiritual body, one of the others or all of them, it depends, okay? Our physical body is not just some separate entity from all the other bodies, right? Some people can feel like their physical body is detached from all the others, but there's a really good chance that it's just because of some kind of a block that makes it feel like there is no flow between the connection, but it's all connected. It's just the block disrupts the flow, right? The free flow. So flexibility. If you find that there was a point in your life, even recently, when you were super flexible, maybe physically, maybe in other aspects of your life and stuff, and then out of nowhere, you just kind of fell off the habit for like maybe a week or two, and then trying again, you're like, whoa, I can't even do half of what I did and it's only been 2 weeks, right? There's a good chance that the reason this is happening, so this is a really specific message, so if you want to stick around and listen to it, even though it doesn't ring true for you, be my guest. I would appreciate it, your presence. But if this isn't necessarily for you, then this is a very specific message. It's not like a pick a card with multiple groups. But yeah, flexibility is something that fluctuates, right? Just like you can, sorry, that's the kettle. It may sound really loud. I don't know how it's gonna sound on camera, but flexibility is something that fluctuates. It's also on a spectrum, okay? Like just like you can deepen flexibility, it can go back into stiffness. So what to do? The biggest thing is not to worry about it. A lot of times, if you've been making a lot of changes in your life and working on your flexibility, you actually become more flexible, like you surrender all of this stuff. You become more flexible in every sense of the manner. And then out of nowhere, sudden stiffness and pain or aches or just sudden stiffness, right? What that is most of the time is your old self, your old habits, your old traits trying to fight the change. It's like you're walking freely, you cross the next chapter's line, you walk, and then that past comes up and it's like, wait, I didn't realize we were really crossing this time. I'm scared. Or no, this is different. We always went backwards. We went forward and took a step back. We didn't take a step back this time. So I dropped my guard, but we didn't step back. And so it gets tense, right? So, oh my gosh, that felt so embodied as it was acted out. But that's life. I feel like no matter how much you work on yourself, there's always going to be possibly the tiniest hint of that comes up, unless you're maybe in a monastery somewhere and all you do all day is meditate and stay dedicated to your spirituality. But even then, it's possible. You know what I mean? That's kind of the beauty of the human body, and the beauty of life and its experiences is that we fluctuate. That even if everything is, it's like a pendulum swinging, you know what I mean? And all of the spiritual work, what it does, it just gives you a little bit more mastery for how far it swings in one direction and how long it stays in the direction of your choice. But it doesn't mean that it's never going to swing back. It's the law of momentum. That's not a law of whatever. I can't think of the word right now, but it's momentum essentially, and it's the law of what is it? An object in motion will stay in motion unless whatever. Is it Newton's law? I don't know. Whatever. It doesn't, it's not important. It's not. The point is, if something is swinging, it will swing back. It's just with all of the work that you're doing, you get to control just how far back it swings and how quickly it can come back, right? It's almost like if you're pushing somebody on a swing, right? And then you push them on a swing, but because someone is behind you, you don't swing back as far as you swing forward. Sorry, I'm looking at myself. Yeah. You don't swing back as far as you swing forward because someone is there to stop you from swinging all the way back because they push you forward again, right? But in order to go higher up and forward, you have to swing back, right? On the swings. So it's like that. The spirituality becomes the person pushing you on the swing, right? All of that, those exercises, work that you've done on yourself, it's the person pushing you on the swing. So that way it stops you from going all the way back. But going back is inevitable. That's the only way you can keep going forward. So fluctuation is a beautiful thing. It means you're alive, right? It may not feel so fun and fancy free when you're experiencing it, but I think finding the beauty in it, even when it's happening, is such a special thing because you acknowledge that this is a season and this is the thing that makes all of the wonderful things feel even more wonderful when they do happen. So I feel like the best way to approach that lower phase is just knowing it's a phase, it's a cycle, and saying, you know, I honor you, thank you. And I know that even though anxieties can come up and all of this stuff, and maybe after having a moment of stillness, I may still go back into panic. But in this moment of stillness, I acknowledge you for what you are as an experience. And I thank you for being the groundwork to the miracle and beautiful experience that is approaching and that I'm stepping into right now. Thank you. And all of that. You know what I mean? So yes, flexibility. If you find that out of nowhere, you're like, but it's only been 2 weeks. How did I get so stiff? Again, it's that like, oh my goodness, I really didn't realize that we were going to keep moving forward because I'm so used to going back, or I'm so used to my fear being in the lead, or I'm so used to when I'm scared actually not taking action, you know, but when we stopped, I thought we weren't going to be taking action, but now you're still taking a step forward. What is this? I'm unfamiliar, you know, it's like, wee, error. So when that happens, instead of getting frustrated with yourself or your progress or trying to force yourself into flexibility again, right? Like some people will try to force into a stretch. It's like, I was able to go this low, so let me really push myself. Pushing yourself is not going to help the part of you that is stiff from fear, right? That is stiff from anxiousness and pressure and anxiety and all of this stuff. Instead, the gentle approach is best. Instead of trying to force something under pressure, because if you try to force it, it can break, right? So instead, you just start by slightly rocking it until you notice, oh, it's getting a little more give. Now we can rock a little more and a little more. And oh my goodness, look at that. We've got flow again. Flexibility is back. You know what I mean? So you can even do that with approaching your physical flexibility to help your mental flexibility, to help you to power through any of the blocks from the past that have held you back in the past, that you have done all of this work to move forward from, that are just trying to kind of pull you back a little bit, or they're like echoes trying to pull you back. You can do that flexibility technique where you're like, let me sway a little. You know, I can't bend back all the way, but let me go back slightly. Let me go back to when I just start to feel the pinch. And then I'll hold it for only 5 seconds, like 5 Mississippis, right? 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi, 4 Mississippi, 5 Mississippi. That's it. And then you snap back slowly. Maybe a little later in the day, you can test it again. How far back can I go? Still the same spot? That's okay. Tomorrow is another day for me to do it again. And then if you do it again, and then you do it again, each time you will start to loosen it up and be able to go a little bit more freely. And you let the tension that came up with whatever was coming from the past, or whatever that fear was, or whatever that old story, because it's not your new story, you're in the new chapter, right? But that old story, it's a habit. It's a habit. So that habit, when it comes up, it's like, wait, this is out of the ordinary. You give yourself that permission to be like, okay, I understand what's going on. I'm not going to try to rapidly change it. I'm not going to try to rapidly snap it back into where I was 2 weeks ago. I'm going to kind of let it ebb and flow. And slowly you're repatterning. Slowly you're reteaching that habit. Like, it's okay for you to come up, but we don't have to be so stiff when you come up. We don't have to be so stiff when fear comes up. We don't have to be so stiff when anxiety comes up. We can stiffen up, but it doesn't have to take over the next month or whatever, right? It's like you train yourself that, because completely avoiding fear, that's like most people will experience fear again. Most people will experience anxiety again. Like I said, the pendulum has to swing back. The swing has to come back in order to go forward. It's just you now, with all of this work, get to control how far back it goes and how long it stays back there. Right? Now that you have developed this spiritual aspect and emotional growth and all this other stuff that you guys have been working on for yourself, you've developed it into a person who stays back there so that they keep you from going all the way back and then swinging forward again. They stop you when you get back, but you have to go back. But there's a point. It's like, I won't go back past this point. And then they push you forward to go forward even faster than if you were to, you know what I mean? So I got distracted by myself again in the camera. But yeah, now that you've developed this person, this part of you, okay, you just got to remind yourself, like, if fear, inevitable, okay, it can come up. No matter how spiritual you are, it can come up. We are constantly surrounded by energetic, loud energetic things and interruptions and disruptions and frequency disruptors through technology, through media, through whatever else they're putting out there to control the masses or to keep people as sheeple, you know what I mean? To keep people contained and stuck in surface level things and materialism and surface level stuff. And it's not wrong to like things, but it's also how it's like everything in moderation, right? If you do too much of one thing, I'm going to go on a different tangent if I keep going with that. But basically what I'm trying to say is it's just about that gentle incorporation, okay? And then because it's a habit, you're retraining that habit to be experienced in a different way. So anytime it comes up, anytime it comes up, you're just like, okay, well, we're going to do that slow reintegration to flexibility again. And eventually it's like sense memory. When the fear comes up, it's not going to be so tense. When the fear comes up, it's not going to be something that needs 2 weeks of remedying. It's going to be something that you can maybe just through breath work, through that slight sway, let it kind of shift out of your body. You know, fear will not have to be association with complete clogging up. It'll be maybe associated with kind of like, you know, the water, the temperature principle, right? Okay. When it's cold, it becomes ice, right? It becomes solid. When it's warm, it's water and flowing. And then when it's hot, maybe it's not water, it's gas. whatever. But when it's hot, it evaporates it because the particle. I don't remember, clearly science and chemistry were way back in the day, and and physics and whatever, and those are not my strongest. I know the example, okay? It's been a while since I've talked or thought about it. But basically, in heat, particles, like, they flow more freely, whatever. Basically, that's what I'm trying to say. Oh my goodness. School's been a while ago, okay? That's just my excuse. But it's the same concept, right? Instead of fear going into the cold response where everything is just solid brick, unmovable, you can start training it to, when you feel fear, your body is still water, okay? It may not be gas, which is completely free flowing, but like everywhere and bouncing around and whatever, but it's still gotta flow. It's water now, not ice. And that is so much easier, right? You're regulating yourself so it doesn't go from one extreme to another. You're able to keep it somewhere in the middle so that it when it fluctuates, it doesn't cut off flow, okay? But yeah, that was my little message. 16 minutes. Okay, that's not too bad. But yeah, that was my little message. And yeah, so whoever this was for, I hope it helped. And I'm gonna go do the rest of my morning routine. Maybe eat something. I hope you have a nourishing meal as well, and a beautiful rest of your day whenever you're watching. All right, bye guys.